Let's begin with something deceptively simple. In mathematics, a set is nothing mysterious. It is a collection of elements defined by a shared property. An element belongs to a set, or it does not. A set can contain other sets. And different sets can overlap, intersect, share common regions, without ever becoming identical. This idea is abstract. But it is powerful. Because it allows us to think about structure without immediately arguing about meaning. Now, if we turn away from mathematics and look at how the human mind actually operates, something curious appears. We already think this way. We do not experience reality as an undivided flow. We divide. We group. We classify. We think in sets. The first great set we inhabit is language itself, an immense constellation of words, connected by grammar, syntax, and rules of use. But more importantly, by relationships. No word has meaning in isolation. Each word draws its sense from its position among other words. This web of relations is what gives language its power. It is a system of syntactic connectivity. And it is upon this invisible scaffolding that thought itself takes shape. To think is already to navigate a structured space of symbols. To speak is to activate a model of the world. Over time, these models multiply. They stabilize. They harden into coherent frameworks. And gradually, we find ourselves living in an ocean of linguistic models, often forgetting that they are models at all. Within this vast set of words, smaller sets emerge. Highly structured ones. Among them, what we call religions. From this perspective, a religion is a linguistic subset with extraordinary internal coherence. It weaves together stories, symbols, myths, rules, and prescriptions to produce a stable vision of reality. It answers fundamental questions. Where do we come from? What is expected of us? How should we live? How should we die? Its strength lies in its capacity to reduce uncertainty, to offer shared meaning, to synchronize perception across a collective. But this strength has a shadow. When a subset becomes too closed, it begins to mistake itself for the whole. The model stops being seen as a model. It becomes reality. And this is precisely where philosophy enters the picture. Philosophy does not simply dwell inside a given subset. It questions the boundaries. It examines assumptions. It compares frameworks. In this sense, philosophy transcends religion. Not by negating it, but by refusing to be confined by it. Philosophy remains within language, but it turns language back upon itself. It exposes the scaffolding. Yet even philosophy does not escape words. It thinks in concepts. It analyzes. It deconstructs. It never fully exits the linguistic field. And so another possibility suggests itself. What if the set of words is not the largest set? What if there exists a wider field, one that contains language but is not exhausted by it? This field is often called spirituality. Spirituality does not necessarily begin with discourse. It begins with experience. With sensation. With lived intensity. With moments that precede articulation. From a set theoretical perspective, spirituality contains language, but is not contained by it. Words may attempt to describe it, but they always arrive afterward. It exceeds syntax. At the boundary between these two sets, we find forms such as animism and shamanism. Animism does not rely on elaborate doctrines. It proposes a direct relational stance toward the world, in which meaning is distributed throughout the living environment itself. It sits at the edge. Structured enough to be shared. Open enough to remain fluid. Shamanism, meanwhile, functions as a bridge. It moves between raw experience and symbolic expression. Between silence and story. Between the lived field of spirituality and the linguistic structures required to transmit it. These practices reveal something essential. Sets are not rigid containers. They are dynamic zones. Their boundaries are porous. They can be crossed, revisited, reconfigured. The mental walk consists precisely in learning to move through these sets consciously. Not attempting the impossible task of escaping models altogether, but recognizing which set we are inhabiting at any given moment. And perhaps, at that point, thinking ceases to be an attempt to possess reality and becomes instead an art of navigation.